What's up, everyone? How are you doing? Good to have you here. Another day, another live stream, and let's see if we can also catch some volatility on the chart, right? What a weird bit of price action locally, but of course, as always, we're going to make sense out of this price action following the Elliott waves method, as we do on this channel. So in today's video, or live stream, I should say, of course, we're going to cover Elliott waves, and then go into chat and Q&A. Answer as many questions as I can before I have to then wrap it up, of course. So yeah, good to have you here, everyone. Good to have you here. So what's up? How are you doing? Sibel, Jeroen, Nuzli, welcome. How you doing, Mr. Gold? Last. Bina, what's up? Maybe a band-aid. Good morning. Good morning. Enjoying your coffee. Sikas, greetings from Barcelona. Nice place. Nice place. Enjoy. Barcelona. The sun is shining in the Netherlands now as well. Mendo Tav, welcome. Nice bounce for Bitcoin, yes. And also, of course, we're going to cover this bounce to the upside because there's quite actually for such a small bit of price action on the chart, like time-wise, there's quite a lot to say about the move to the upside, which we're going to cover. The 886 touch. Now, actually, the 886 touch here is a little bit less relevant because we are in potential wave 4 behavior, of course. Now, of course, the move down here being a wave 1, 2, and then 3 down has lower probabilities, yes. But in a wave 4, you know, the 886 from the low, that's the one that's important. So taking from the low to the high. The one from the high to the low here is a little bit less important due to the potential of a wave 4, which is a ranging structure here. But we're going to cover this as well, of course. So there's still a chance to have a bigger bullish move to invalidate the bearish scenarios. Yeah, the 618 is just above. That's the invalidation for the bearish wave 4. Sarah, welcome. Before we start, just to mention, Bitcoin is going to go up or either down. That's what we're going to analyze, no? In the end, it's all probabilities, and it depends on the time frame you're trading. Weekly time frame, bullish. Daily time frame, therefore, also still bullish, right? We just stuck inside this range between 74 and 56k. And locally, for the bulls, you need to get to the 618 here. That's important. That is where the probabilities really switch. But we're going to cover this structure to the upside in a second, and then you'll get a better idea of what we're looking for. Of course, Darpon, Jason, welcome. 008Z, good to have you here. Barely missed the low. Yeah, I mean, you got a nice strat for yourself where you do catch highs and lows very effectively, which is very, very nice, of course. So let's cover Elliott waves. Let me move this to the downside, organize my folders here a little bit. And what's this? I have a fib. Oh, wait. Okay, it was a little bit of lag here. Okay, there we go. So the 618 is on the chart. We're going to cover that in a second. Okay, now I don't want to zoom out all the way to the weekly time frame and cover the weekly. We've done that in the morning update already. I want to actually talk more about the local time frames and definitely observe the local price action because it's a very interesting move so far, and there's actually, as mentioned earlier, a lot to say about that structure to the upside. So I'm going to move a couple of folders out of my analysis area here. That's the bearish area. I mean, we can at least keep this one in. Sure. Oh yeah, take log off. That's interesting. Yeah, so we're going to stay on the higher time frames, but then we're going to zoom in and talk about the structure that we have over here, the move to the upside that we've had so far. Be mindful of the bullish CVDs we do still have here. And maybe a band-aid. Yes, you do have the 886 touch here, of course. But yeah, very interesting. The only bullish move for the bulls here that's kind of left is a double 1-2, pretty much. So you would expect a very big wave 3 to come. That's pretty much it. But we're going to cover the lower time frames. So let me start. Afternoon, Fukra. Rocky, good to have you here. AE, what do you think about ETH takes over the market with good projects next to it, like Bitcoin has only name all tagged? I am not involved with fundamentals, so I won't be able to tell you. I just trade any chart that has volatility, and my favorite is Bitcoin, but I don't trade Bitcoin because of the tag. I just trade Bitcoin because it makes money. Yeah. So yeah. When you have a chart with large fluctuation in one wave, how can you distinguish the subwaves from the main ones, even though all the waves are close in time and depth? If you have a move to either the up or the downside, right, and you have difficulty to distinguish subwaves, then zoom out and only do the higher waves. You don't have to go like, oh, we have an impulse on the 1 minute and then go to the 15 and then the 5 and then the 3 and then the 1 to try and find all and count all the subwaves. I would very much recommend to then stay around, like stick around on the 1 hour and then analyze that chart, wait for local confirmations or probabilities to change on a 1 hour time frame, right? And then take it from there. There's no need to zoom in and try to count every single structure. It probably confuses people more than it actually provides clarity. MT, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for your comment earlier today, man. Man, Demchi, good afternoon as well. I would like which indicator used for support, resistance, box. I don't use indicators. I use analysis. So, hey, Christine, welcome. So everything you see me use in all of my videos is my what I have. So time frame horizontals, point of controls, volume profile, Elliott wave, CVD, support, resistance, everything you see in my content is what I like to use. So yeah, okay then, let's start. So on the daily time frame, I want to start with the lowest probability scenario just to get this one out of the way, right? What's up, Mark? How are you doing? 12 minute 30. Okay, good to know. So the lowest probability scenario, just to get it out of the way, is of course a bigger impulse to the downside. Bull market finished and down we go. Bear market starts. Now we then have a leading diagonal in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then a corrective structure in 2. Now there's two things actually this time I want to mention. First of all, if this is a leading diagonal where you have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and a wave of 5, and for the classics or for the people that were here when price was making this range, you will know that your wave 3 is actually a little bit longer than your wave 1. So if I zoom in, you can see that price wicked the 1-to-1, meaning wave 3 is longer than wave 1, which does lower the probabilities for a diagonal. Because in a contracting diagonal, preferably wave 3 is shorter than 1, and it remains rare for wave 3 to be longer than a wave 1. It's not an invalidation, but it is not what you want to see. But nonetheless, you have your bearish scenario, right? 1, 2, 3. Now 2 has a similar problem, but here the problem lies in counting a 3-wave corrective structure that ends at this high, because there's no corrective structure that ends very nicely at this high here to count this as a 3-wave correction. Lastly, you also touch the 886 taken from the start to the end of 1, which significantly lowers probabilities for this scenario because the 886 is rare for 2, common for B or X. Any move down has a higher probability of being a wave C or a wave Y, increasing probabilities to sooner or later move up and continue the trend. Now we are below the value area low of this range. A sign of strength would be to move above the value area high, close some candles here, retest it as support preferably, 62.7k, and then the probabilities increase to move to the point of control, 66.9k. Simple range trading, pretty much. But now we are below the value area low. And then here, support, resistance in this range. Resistance, also now resistance. The leg that we have over here at the bottom is the one of support, 59 to 60.3k, which is where we are right now. Now, with regards to the bullish scenarios here locally, there is 2 that we track, starting with the higher probability one at the moment, though, which is a sideways 3-wave structure, after which we eventually continue towards the upside, continue the trend. Here we have this structure labeled as a W, a flat, another flat in X, and then a wave Y labeled as a zigzag. The common target for Y is the yellow box on my chart, 63.2, 54.4, and inside wave Y. We then look for a zigzag to the downside in an ABC, where the common target for your wave C here has been touched. The 1-to-1 has been hit over here, 58.5K. Doesn't mean that that is the low for your wave C, but at least the target area is hit. Now, if we zoom in to that ABC to the downside, right? So this is the same zigzag, but in a bit more detail. We then have our 5-wave A diagonal, 3-wave B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in C. That's then what you're looking for. On the lower time frames, we had a move to the downside and a little range here and a little range here and a little range here. So you can see it's like a staircase drop to the downside. Now, to be very clear, your invalidation for a wave 4 is the 0.618 at 62.2K, taken from the high of 2 to the current low. So if price is moving up to the 618, it invalidates this wave 4, and you move to the downside, incredibly low probabilities. You're looking at a wave 5 that is counted as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the way I have it on the chart here. So that is why also for pretty much the whole morning, if you've been following my chart, I had the 0.618 on my chart, and I will make sure to put it on the chart in a second once again. The most bullish scenario is continuation up, 1, 2, continue up in a wave 3. This wave 1 remains awkward. Feel free to ask why, because I explained it in many videos, and of course, in order to not repeat myself too much for the regular viewers, I don't want to keep repeating the reason why, but it has to do with, let's say, truncation. So then the final common target for wave 2 is the 786, right? Taken from the low to the high of 1, 59.8. That's your final common target area for 2. The 886 is rare, and we just missed out on hitting the 886, right? You don't want to hit that 886. I do realize that on some charts, we did hit the 886. I just like to see it hit on my chart, and the index chart would be good as well. We actually, I think, just missed out on hitting it there as well. So there's still the potential for this to be a wave 2, but it is a very deep wave 2, has to be said, which does lower probabilities for that to be a wave 2. And if we want to count this single structure as a wave 2 and end it at the low, because preferably, of course, if this is a wave 2, this is your low, and you're going to continue to the upside because you don't have any space anymore to the downside, right? If you take this low, you're going to hit the 886, and the 886 is incredibly rare for 2. We don't want to hit the 886. So preferably that is your low, and pretty much the only scenario that can make this a low would be WXYXZ, like a double triple zigzag, and in this case, we look for a triple zigzag. Zigzag W, zigzag Y, zigzag in a wave Z, pretty much. So, and then, of course, you want to continue to the upside. Now, WXYXZ is very rare, so I prefer to keep an eye on the 618 above and use that more as a probability switch, I suppose. Let me actually put it on the chart as well. So the 618 is important because it invalidates a wave 4. So when we now talk about more local price action, this move to the upside, right? If this is your low, and we are gonna count or look for a bigger impulse to the upside, there's only 3 structures that you need to know. First of all, an impulse, a diagonal, and a double 1-2, or a multi 1-2. So what we can do with the information that we have is figure out if we can count one of these. Of course, preferably with high probabilities. Starting with the impulse. If we count an impulse, we want to count a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we have this to the upside and then started ranging sideways. If we count an impulse, we preferably want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this wave 4 retraced too deep, right? Doesn't really matter where I take the fib from because we pretty much hit the 618 anyway at the moment, right? So It's not a great structure for an impulse. And also, if this is your 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this 2? It's a very this range is very interesting because it's not really a retracement. We didn't even hit the 0.236. And for a wave 2, the 0.236 is already an incredibly rare target. So not even hitting the 0.236 with any of the highs here is of course quite interesting, to say the least. So a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 does not have high probabilities, right? Partly because of the 618 over here, right? So we pretty much touched the 618, as you can see. That invalidates a wave 4. And has to be said, this remains an awkward wave 2. But nonetheless, we go to a diagonal. In a diagonal, we need to see a wave 1, and then a 2, 3, 4, and then eventually a wave 5, creating a diagonal. It is too early to talk diagonals. One would need to wait for a wave 4 to be finished before giving any higher probabilities to a diagonal compared to corrective structures. So a diagonal at the moment is out of the question. This then leaves us with a double 1, 2, which means that this has to be a wave 1, this has to be a wave 2, this has to be another 1, another 2, arguably another 1, 2, but you're going to be expecting continuation to the upside, no? That is going to be the goal. That is what you're looking for. And you want to see a very big impulsive structure to the upside, right? High volume, high volatility, moving away from the low rapidly. And a double 1, 2 is invalidated if you break below this ranging structure. Now, as mentioned earlier, counting this as a wave 1 and then a 2 and then another 1, 2 continuation, this wave 2 is incredibly shallow. Very rare. So of course it doesn't really help with the probabilities for a double 1, 2. And we also know that an impulse doesn't work and a diagonal has low probabilities because we didn't even have a wave, well, arguably wave 2, right? You have 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. You need to wait for a wave 4. So the probabilities for the bulls are not that great at the moment. We spoke about the impulse. It's not a good structure. Then we have a diagonal, but it's too early to call diagonals. We first need to move up and then down again, and then we can maybe talk about diagonals. And then we have the double 1, 2. But this wave 2 is very shallow. The only problem I have is, first of all, we have bullish CVD divergences between this grinding structure and the higher low here. So we have bullish CVD and the target is the high. And second, if we want to count this correctively, right, what is the highest probability corrective count? So when we look at corrections, we have the zigzags, we have the flats, we have the triangles, we have the WXY, and of course more complex structures like a WXY XZ and that sort of stuff. But that's very rare, so we don't really cover it. Right? So that means that if we want to start counting this as a wave 4, as a corrective structure, this move up has to be counted as a zigzag, a double zigzag. I don't want to go to a 5 or 3 minute time frame, right? We don't need that per se. Price will show what it wants to do. But if we count this as a zigzag, right, for an ABC, so we are now doing a little bit, let's say, of live analysis, like this is the thinking that I go through when I do my analysis, right? So first, the bullish structures, impulse, diagonal, double 1, 2, I'm like, okay, like double 1, 2 is pretty much the one that's left. And it doesn't look great because wave 2 is shallow, but we do have those bullish CVD divergences. That's a bit annoying, to be honest. But then, okay, if we look for a corrective structure, well, if this is an ABC to the upside and we take a trend-based flip from the low to the high of A to the low of B, then the common target area for your wave C is not hit, which is rare. The common target for wave C is the 1 to the 1.236. It's above price. And I took the lowest pivot for B, right? I didn't take this low or this low because the target is only going to be higher. I took the lowest pivot for B. So I'm most flexible, but we still didn't hit the common target for wave C. We did move above the 0.618, and that's a minimum target, but rare for a wave C in a zigzag, right? Now, the only option you then have would be a WXY, a double zigzag, which has a common target area between the 618 and the 1.236. But that means that on a, there we go, 5-minute time frame, 3-minute time frame, you would need to count a zigzag here, a correction, and another zigzag to the upside. And at the moment, so far, this does not look like a very nice double zigzag to the upside. So, zigzags, bit annoying. Now, we can't count flats here, A, B, C, because we simply do not have a flat here. We can't count triangles. It's way too early to look for triangles. We then need A, B, C, D, and only when D is in can we actually start talking about triangles. And that then leaves us with complex structures like a WXY, where this is a W, but that then means, if we count this W, this has to be a zigzag ABC, because a wave W can only contain a flat ABC or a zigzag, which is what you see here. And then you're looking for a wave X, and then finally a wave Y, creating a sideways horizontal corrective structure. After where Y, we then want to see a move towards the downside. No? So we have a zigzag in a W, any corrective structure possible in X, and then wave Y has to be either a flat or a triangle because wave W is already a zigzag. So, that's pretty much it, no? A double 1-2 or the WXY at the moment. Those are the two going against one another. Hitting 62.2K increases probabilities for the bulls. But as long as you don't hit this 62.2K, it's even though we have the bullish CVDs, let me also show you. So you can see here higher low in price, but you can see the lower low on the CVD. So there's definitely some bullish CVDs here. We didn't yet hit the target, which is the high. So the CVDs are showing upside and bullishness and price taking out the high. But this first leg towards the upside it remains a very ugly impulsive structure to the upside. Sometimes it's just the way it is. So pretty much this area is for me personally I'm like a no trade zone at the moment. Very limited information. Arguably, we are at the 0.5, which is a wave 4 target. As you can see, nicely respected so far. And on the lower time frame, if we do jump to a 5-minute, then what you can see as well is this move to the upside here has the highest amount of volume in the high. And if we are counting an impulse, then preferably you don't see the highest amount of volume in the high, right? So if this is a 1-2, 1-2, and we look for, let's say, another 1-2, having a wave 1 end on the highest amount of volume is not really what we like to see in an impulse. But then again, we have those damn bullish CVD divergences. And we are just moving sideways very high. Right? It's a very high range compared to where the low is. There's like barely any great retracement here to the downside. We didn't even hit the 0.382. I mean, look at this. Very ugly. Because the moving average is not a tool that I like to use. So it doesn't help me in my trading, nor in my analysis. So there you go. So yeah. Probabilities here locally are very neutral. You have a very ugly potential bullish structure, but at the same time, you didn't yet hit the... arguably, actually, probabilities are bearish until you hit 62.2. I mean, let's keep it simple. If we are looking for a wave 4 in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as long as you do not hit 62.2k, wave 4 is not invalidated. Probabilities arguably are higher for the bears compared to the bulls, unless you can hit 62.2k. So that's that. That's the level you want to hit. And then we can continue talking again, really. So impulsive structures, a impulse invalidated, diagonal way too early, double 1 2. Well, first of all, of course, your first wave 2 is incredibly shallow. Your second wave 2 is well, let's put a bit of time here. Question. Second wave 2 is okay, but preferably your wave 2 is finished at the low here, and this is not all wave 2 price action. You ended here a candle on the highest amount of volume. So locally this structure to the upside, if we want to count this as an impulse, then preferably the highest amount of volume is in your wave 3, after which we see a 4 and a 5, but we never got a 4 and a 5, and we retraced too deep for a wave 4 now as well. Touch the golden pocket. So the only way to now count this is going to be incredibly bullish, which means another like 1 2, and then this wave 1 has to end on the highest amount of volume. So something that I do keep in mind with the WXY here is a W, right, and then blah 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 X, and then wave Y can be a flat or of course a triangle. Now we have a double top at the high here, W, X, and then eventually a Y, but your Y can still be a flat. A, B, C, grab the highs, finish C, move down impulsively, and move for the lows. So that's a scenario I keep in mind. But yeah, we have a big gap to the downside here as well. Price didn't even retrace at any moment in time to the 0.382 so far. It doesn't matter where I take the fib, from the low to whatever high you can pick. We never had a retracement to at least a 382, which is incredibly uncommon as well. So if you're looking for A, B, C, WXY, 1, 2, 3, the 382 is a minimum retracement target. So yeah, either the chart is fucking with us here, or this is not a wave 2. It's part of a corrective structure. Because again, your only bullish scenario really at the moment, as it stands with the info that we have, would be a double 1 2, where this is the first 1 2. But then this has to be a wave 2. You never know. There's always that possibility, but it's not what we want to see in an impulse. It's very shallow. Yeah, interesting though. So yeah, probabilities. Weekly time frame bullish. The probabilities from the video this morning are still the same, right? So we on the weekly time frame remains bullish only if you hit 49.3k before taking out all-time high. Are we looking a bit more at some bearish structures? There's no reason to think about a bear market. Then you have on the daily time frame, pretty much all of the scenarios shown are bullish as well. WXY, the impulse, even a zigzag down, it's all in the end bullish for the weekly. On the local time frames here, unless you hit 62.2k, probabilities are bearish if we want to keep it simple. Right? That's the moment where the probabilities switch. As explained, this structure to the upside, any Elliott waver here will agree that this structure to the upside so far is not a great impulse. Therefore, we have to consider the bearish alternatives, which then leads us to wave 4 price action as well, which is invalidated with 62.2k. So hit 62.2 and then we can consider some better options. I can't see 2. Yeah, me neither. Yeah, and I agree, Crypto Sir. I 100% agree. Even in ABC, your wave C is short. But because wave C didn't make it to the 1.236 common target area for a wave C, that is when I started to consider the possibility of either a double 1 2 1 2 1 2 and then continue up, but that now has probably got to be a triple, so 1 2 1 2 1 2 right? Or we're looking at corrective structures, you know, and then whatever, WXY, ABC with a very short C, yeah. But yeah, we do have, of course, the bullish CVDs here, grinding range up, price retracing, creating bullish CVDs, higher low, lower low, both on blue and on yellow. Hasn't yet played out because the high didn't get taken. So if price can move to the downside and actually move below the ranging, the grind that we had to the upside here, I mean, that would increase probabilities to then move towards the low, because you're going to invalidate the bullish CVDs. So, or you have the bullish CVDs play out, grab the high, but then reverse, which is a reaction. We have to wait and see what price does if it does take the high. So yeah. So we did have bearish CVDs here, by the way, lower high, higher high, but this of course already played out. And then we moved down, created bullish CVDs. And then here there's no clear bearish CVDs, but the probabilities, I can't give probabilities bullish as long as you don't hit 62.2. You know, it's simple. We know where we're wrong. It's a little bit more to the upside, but that's the level. So could it be a 1-2 where wave 2 has not finished? I will go and go through all the questions, but Queenie, are you talking about 1-2 or 1-2-1-2 and then up? While waiting on that answer from Quinny. Welcome back, by the way, Quinny course, the first one. Yeah, so the problem with counting this as a single one, so I do have to go to a 5 min. So first of all, we then need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need a 2, but look at the small ranges. There is no retracement in the whole move up that retraced to the 382, even you know, like, yeah, only a 382 or 236, but the 382 is already uncommon for a wave 2, and the 236 would be very rare. But that's the thing, it's never zero probabilities, right? Are they? So all of the ranges, none of them hit the 382, none of the retracement. So either it's a very shallow retracement and price is like, yo, we're not going to give any retracement, we're just going to fly, absolutely fine, but then I'm going to be part of the long later because I'm so not interested. Like, you know, there is no high probability local setup except for a potential CVD trade here, but from an Elliott waves point of view, there's no great like long setup. The only thing is, yeah, you have CVD as a backup, so arguably the only long would be a CVD long, higher low, lower low, target is this high. If the target is taken, observe price action and then take it from there, and then either at a later stage, oh, we fly and we continue, okay, cool, right? But then it's a CVD trade. It's not probabilities because of Elliott waves. It's probabilities because of CVD. So that's the problem that I have, is we don't have great impulsive structures, but you have bullish CVDs that are not yet invalidated. So as long as these are still there, it's difficult to really talk about, oh, we go for the low. Right, you want price to move below this range, and so far we are just moving sideways above this range here. So and we have the bullish CVDs, of course, as well. So it's at the moment it's probabilities between, hey, we have a very ugly impulse or whatever impulse is structure, double 1 2, with barely any retracement to the downside, but we do have bullish CVD divergences, and so far price is holding. Plus we took the, we hit the 886 here as well as a side note, taken from the high to the low, price went to the 886. So that is like, okay, we have the CVD, so that adds probabilities for the bulls, but then the structure to the upside, like what the fuck? Like, it's very corrective price action. There's no like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this move up counted as a wave 1. There's then wave 2 has to be a 236 touch, and then this has to be a wave 4, right? So we need a wave 2 that has a 236 touch. Your wave 4 is then somewhere here. And then to make things even more interesting, then your last leg up in wave 5 has the highest volume. Like it's not great. So wave 2 hitting the 236, incredibly rare, and wave 5 then ending on the highest amount of volume, which is not what we want to see. So preferably we have already a finished impulse here, right? So whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, and finish an impulse here or here or here, whatever, one of the 3 highs. And then count this as a 1, 2, and 3. But then again, your wave 2 once more hit the 236. So I can't give bullish probabilities from an Elliott wave point of view in this range at the moment. You only have the CVD to back up a potential move up to take the high, and that's the only thing. Or we hit 62.2 and then probabilities change. So yeah, it's a great question, Queenie. But yeah, highest volume in 5, no retracement in 2. That's what bothers me. It's the retracement here. Like very, very shallow. And in the end, what we trade, of course, as Elliott wave analysts is probabilities. And it's no problem if price moves and we are not part of the move. There's always a next trade where your probabilities are actually on your side. How can you give the highest probabilities here? Like wave 2 hitting a 236. Wave 5 has the highest amount of volume, if that's counted as a single impulse. If we count this as a double 1, 2, this wave 2 only hit the 236. It's very rare, right? This is not Elliott wave. This would be a CVD setup, not an Elliott wave setup. So from an Elliott wave point of view, the probabilities are bearish until proven otherwise. Because you can't give probabilities to the bulls here. It's until we hit 62.2. Let me quickly, by the way, have a look up here. We were... Oh, Hera, you changed your name. I see. Wow, what's up? I answered this one, and this is where we were. What's up, Mark? Welcome here as well. Inverted head and shoulders for me. Inverted. So, an inverted head and shoulders. So this is your shoulder, or... Oh, wait, I guess this is what happens. I have no idea if this is what you're looking for in that case. I don't trade patterns, that's correct, yeah. But of course, this is also not Elliott waves. It's another type of analysis. But of course, from an Elliott wave point of view, this move up is very ugly as an impulse. Can you make this an ABC and B an expanding flat? A. Arham, do you mean that the first move up is your wave A? So then this has to be a 3-wave structure, right? So you need A and then B an expanding flat. A, B, C. Wait, can you make this an ABC? And oh, wait. The problem with... Let me scroll down. Did he reply? No. The problem with an ABC, though, to the upside here would be it has to be a zigzag. So 5, 3, 5, where your B is then a flat. right? So you then need A, B, C, and then continuation up. The problem you have for a wave 4 is that this is your invalidation. And if you count a zigzag A, B, C, your wave B has to retrace to the 886 and then move up for C to take the double top and not hit the 618. Because if we take a fib from the low to the high here, right? And we do, let me do this, and then do that, and then do this, and then for a wave C, if we take from the low of A to the high of A, so you can see the 1-to-1. The 1-to-1 here, that's your target for C, right? So look, if I put it on the 886, A, B, your wave C minimum target is 61.9. I mean, you're getting very close to invalidation for a wave 4. So that is why a zigzag here for 535 is not reasonable, because we're maxing the target for a wave 5. We're already at the 0.5 fib, which is the maximum target. So we don't have any wiggle room anymore. So that is why the only structure I really like to look at would then be either WXY, which is a sideways ranging structure, or of course eventually you might move into triangles and that sort of thing, but it's too early to call triangles. We would first need A and then B and then C, and then eventually after D, that's when we can really start talking triangles. Preferably, by the way, I do want to say this, preferably your wave 4, by the way, is not yet finished in time. So if we have 1, 2, well, preferably ending here, and then 3, 4, 5, currently your wave 4 is shorter in time compared to your wave 2. And most commonly a wave 4 is longer in time than wave 2. So in other words, preferably this is only the first structure in a wave 4, and we continue ranging here for longer before moving down in 5 if we look for a bearish scenario where we still want to see price move towards the downside. We also now are pretty much ranging, of course, in the previous range here, in between the support and resistance areas that you see on my chart, which are working very nicely and partly create the confusion locally. We still do have some support at the bottom. By the way, let me quickly, let me put this in. We start at 12:30 or something. Not chatting and Q&A. Oh. Pin. One, 2, 3 is actually only 1. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, so we covered this. Yeah. What's up, the folks? Confusing action from When confused, just wait for the market to show clarity, right? The best setup is always ahead of you. The best trade is always still ahead of you, and we don't have to trade every move up nor down. We want to trade the highest probability moves and make our money there. Right? Sometimes you can go days without taking a trade, and then you see that setup that you've been waiting for, you take it and you make bank. Patience. I answered these ones. Christine, pleasure. Barbie, what's up? Thanks for being here again, Christine. Bitget took out the local high. Interesting. Yeah, I think someone said Bybit as well. What's up, Eric, Dorian, and Laflamme? Is there an indicator for CVD and trading view, or is it only through? I agree with maybe a Band-Aid. Of course, even though the CVDs are not coded and as accurate as AGGR is, you might be able to use the CVDs, but you would need to, of course, track statistics to see how often do they play out, how accurate are they. So you can still use them, but you definitely want to track statistics for yourself, because I cannot recommend a TradingView CVD. What's up, Asanov? Welcome back to the team, by the way. It's great to have you. Great to have you. What's nice, I like it brought a smile on my face when I saw your message popping up again. Sorry for the sound of the water there. Do you still have a scenario where we take the all-time high with a B or X? That scenario will come back once we get close to all-time high. At the moment, Blaster, it's not really relevant just yet. So of course, the bigger WXY in the daily can be a wave A for a bigger flat. So if you finish wave Y, you can move up for your B and then a C down. But until we get close to all-time high levels, it's at the moment less relevant to really look into that flat scenario again. So I still have it in my folder, but it's of course a different one now as well because your wave X is too deep, right? 1 second. So remember, if you think like A and then double zigzag B and then look down for C, your wave X for a double zigzag WXY, the X went too deep now. So a double zigzag is out of the question. It's very low probabilities that this is a WXY double zigzag. So preferably we then look for 535, a normal zigzag. This is then your B. And then you move down for C to take the low of A. All right. But we have to move up. We have to be inside the 70s to start considering that scenario again. Yeah, because before that we preferably look at some other scenarios. Answer this one. I know you. It looks like, oh yeah, the head and shoulders. We covered that one, I think, just now. Do you think next week's sell-off 2015 Bitcoin holders will have more bearish impact on Bitcoin? The 2015 Bitcoin holders. Do you think next week a sell-off? I mean, it's an interesting question, but my question would be, what is a sell-off? Because on a weekly time frame, the probabilities are still much higher for a continuation of the trend. And depending on who you ask, they'll call this a sell-off, and they call this a sell-off, and they call this a sell-off. So, you know, some people will probably call this a sell-off as well. So the question here is like, what is the scenario that comes behind the sell-off? Like, what are you looking for? Because like a bull market will have 20, 30, 40% retracements. You know, is this a sell-off here, right? Now this move is only a blip on the chart, but at this moment in time, it was quite a big move. Arguably, that's then called a potential sell-off there. Yeah, by all means, currently the probabilities are just higher to continue in this range, and both impulse structures to either the up or the downside, like we have right now, right? And it's very much just. This is perfect range trading behavior, yeah. Which of course is annoying to many traders. You can also see it in the volume, by the way, that people are like, yeah, well, I'm not. I don't want to be part of this anymore. The range. Look at the volume. People are like, yeah, whatever. You know, I just wait. Which is it's a good stance to have. I do really much. I do like ranges very much because it's usually where I am most active first of all, and I also like to count ranges because I love the puzzle. I love the challenge of ranges. So yeah. What's up, Ashley? Welcome. From South Africa, I believe, right? Was it? Possibly, Simon. The thing is, there's not any bullish setup. No, but that is, of course, Queenie, why we also consider either a WXY in here or other structures. You can still have a wave Y that didn't reach the 618. You can have a very short wave C, right? That's not common, but we cannot forget about it. So yeah, it's both a very, very ugly impulse, and it's also a very, very ugly bearish structure. Yeah. Bina. Today was the best time for my number one channel, this channel, not overlap with my second channel. I hope you can keep this time. Because the other channels not too, so I don't look at any other creators because it's distraction. But everyone has their own analysis. But by all means, by the way, thanks for being one of your two. Did you check the chart? I did tag you in Discord talking about the channel you once showed us. On the weekly time frame, Tosella, you mean? I haven't checked Discord just yet, actually. Holy moly, what's happening? Lots of chatting, lots of chatting. That's what we like to see. Up, 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 up. I probably just better search on tags. Ah, yeah, this one. Yeah, so I was thinking about, am I going to cover this channel in the morning update or not? I eventually chose not to. And the reason for that is that based on the local structure to the downside, the probabilities at the moment are higher to just continue this range. So we can hit that channel, but then preferably we extend in time and not necessarily in price to the midline. So this is what you're talking about, of course. And the midline down here is at like 51, even lower at this week, 50.8, actually even lower, 50.2. But preferably, if this channel is going to be respected and you fall towards the midline, preferably we extend in time and not extend in price. That's currently, so it wasn't worth mentioning this in the update. But and also this week is not finished yet, so we don't have any close below the trend line, which was another reason to not yet cover this. But yes, it is at least something to keep in mind. I agree. What's up, Panagiotis? Why up? So they both took the, or many took the highs here, it seems. On June 12th, 15-minute time frame. June 12th. Oh, you're talking about this one? This is not a valid pivot. You want it, so you can't pull an 886 from this high to the low and then be like 886 touch, right? So an 886, you need a fresh, like this high, right? Or this low here. This is an in-between high. This is your high, you move down, you create like an in-between high, you move down again. You can't use this one. Also, we only use the 886 when we look for a start, like the start of something. So this is a continuation from this move and not the start. This high started a new structure. So if we would have moved up here and touched the 886, that was going to be relevant. But this is a continuation plus it's an in-between high. So we can't pull an 886 from here to here and then use it the same way. However, we can take it from the low, because if we from the low look for a 5-wave structure, because this is what you're looking for, right? That's why we pulled the 886 is, hey, if this is a zigzag, right? We made a low. This is a fresh new low on the chart. You could also use this one, by the way, because of course you have a clear high and you have a clear low. And then you move up and up, new low. So if this is your low and you move up, we want to count an impulsive structure. But price here touched the 886, retraced to the golden pocket and failed. Typical 886 probabilities playing out. Same here. Take a fib from the low to any high here. 886 touched. Wave C eventually fails, took the low. Probabilities are higher. You're looking for a C or Y after an 886 touch and take the low at a later stage. Would happen as well. So as price is moving down, you can use the 886 at the lows, right? You can only use an 886 at a high in a downtrend here, right? An in-between high if you look for a completely new impulse or a new wave A from that high to the downside. But as you've probably seen in my content, I have not used the 886 for any taken from a high to a low anywhere in this move to the downside. Because you can only take it from the high and then look for the 886 here, or use it for the lows to see if the probability is higher to continue dropping. And those probabilities were higher all the time. Probabilities higher here to move down, here to move down, right? Also here we touched the 886 with this wick. So yeah, you can't use the 886 for like in-between pivots, as I like to call them. Only clear highs and lows. So same here, you want to use it from this low to the high. Keep the 886 on the chart. That's the one that is most relevant because we have the potential for wave 4 price action. Of course, we can take an 886 from this high to the low, and then the only information that we have now is that the structure to the downside is not, or very low probabilities of being an impulse. Right, so you see 886 touch. So all we know now is the probabilities are low that this is the end of a corrective structure. If this is corrective and we count the wave 4, the probabilities are low. This is the end of a corrective structure, and this is a 1, 2, and down you go in 3 because the 886 is touched. Right, so the probabilities are low for this to be the end of a wave 4. As explained earlier in the analysis as well, when we compare fib time between 2 and 4. So the only thing we know is, okay, this is higher probability to be corrective. Now, arguably, that then increases probabilities to take the high. We still have bullish CVDs. The issue with the 886 here is that if we are looking for a wave 4 and the potential for WXYs, a wave Y can end at an 886 and move down. So that is why I don't like to use the 886 here. I only use the 886 from the low to the high. Because if we are thinking about corrective structures and WXYs and the potential for a wave 4, and wave 4 is a corrective structure, yeah, I don't really want to go into the 886 pulled here. The only, probability thing for the bulls is you have those bullish CVDs, and so far price is not really finding its way to the downside very rapidly neither. So we had a bit of bullish CVDs locally here again, higher low, lower low in blue. Target is this high here, 61,250. So yeah, you got to invalidate those bullish CVD divergences, else yeah, you're just gonna move. Oh, I see. Wait. You mean this? Or like this? Yeah, I mean, from a head, even from a head and shoulders perspective. So this would be your shoulder. This is your head, and then another shoulder. Yes. I'm not really, of course, too much into patterns, but there is that potential. Yeah. Of course. Everyone has a different type of analysis, but make sure to trade your plan. There's innovation, buy with the highest amount of volume, reach the higher high like an oak wave. Yeah, and this last leg to the upside here then, I guess. But of course, preferably a wave 5 doesn't have the highest volume. Preferably it's a wave 3. But this is a very intriguing structure so far. I mean, look at the space you have to the downside. I mean, so the only thing that's holding me back from shorting this to zero is the bullish CVD divergences. I can't. It's a no trade zone for me. So I'm happy to go long, but I want retracements for this. I'm happy to lose out and join at a later stage whenever price shows more clarity locally. If price can touch 62.2k, that would be a start, and then take it from there. I'm generally a very patient trader. I don't need to trade every move. I have ideas, I have plans, but if I don't see what I want to see, I just stay out of the market. You know, I'm here to not gamble. I want probabilities on my side, and from an Elliott wave point of view, this being an impulse or double 1-2 is just incredibly ugly. The only reason for me to think upside would be the bullish CVDs, but it's not Elliott waves supported really. It's more like, we got the bullish CVDs building all the time. So arguably, therefore, we can think about upside, but this being an impulse is a very ugly one. Now, it doesn't mean it can't be, but we trade probabilities as analysts, and I don't have to trade at every piece of the chart. You know, when the probabilities are not clear or not on my side, I just wait. What's up, Job? Oh, the mic. Yeah, so this is also fundamentals. The stuff about MyGox. Yeah, I'm not really involved with all of that. Quick email needed. How are you doing? To the holders in empty GOX. I would be interested to know the date. If they have a particular date where they give back the Bitcoins, that could be interesting to keep an eye on the date and the volatility during the day. But that would be just a news event. So of course I have the calendar as always, so it won't be in here. Of course the empty GOX stuff. But for me, that day would then just be like a news event. It's just a higher chance of volatility on the chart. What do you think? Bitcoin will fall? Look, yeah. Well, weekly time frame bullish, daily time frame we are still looking for either WXY, the bullish impulse scenario. So long term still up. Locally here, bearish until you hit 62.2. I can't make it different. Yeah, the problem is it goes against the bearish CVDs. That is my problem. Otherwise I would have been in a short already, but I'm not. Well, I am in a short from higher, but not a new one here at the moment. Correct. Yeah, true. Below the trend line. We need to wait for the week to close, of course, as well. Serdar, welcome. Good to have you here. We will extend in time before a final crash. Yeah, it would be nice. Of course, usually you end on high volume. This move down as well. Of course, the last spike to the downside so far. Right, so we have low, 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 low. And you could see the volume moving down, and then we end on a spike as well, which is always interesting for reversals. So I'm definitely considering a move up. It's just that the first structure to the upside, like what is this? So from an Elliott wave point of view, counting an impulse, counting a short. I'm also very happy to go into longs, but not with the price action we have here at the moment. Like there's no retracement, so I'm happy to miss any move up and join later. Bullish CVDs would play out. So of course you have the bull CVDs, higher low on the price on price, lower low CVD, plus we have an 886 touch. So yeah, probabilities are there to take the high, but and then we'll see if we can hit 62 too. So We also have bullish CVDs here. So as price continues to range, we just see those bullish CVDs building. Green candle CVD moving down here. That's an in candle bullish CVD. So yeah, it's an ugly impulse, but it might be one of those days. No? Higher low, lower low, both lines, and then in this range here. We don't have bullish CVDs with this low. We just have some bullish CVDs here. Higher low, lower low. You see? The higher we go in time, the stronger the point of control, meaning generally that is the case, Ali, or at least that's the expectation, right? We can't say it will be because sometimes one is waiting for, and I've experienced this, you're waiting for a monthly naked point of control and it doesn't hold at all. It also, of course, depends what are the other confluences in that area, but strictly speaking, when talking about point of controls, then yes, the higher the time frame, the bigger they are, the stronger you would expect a reaction in that area, because the time frame is longer, so the volume traded at that particular level is higher. In other words, the interest in that level is higher. So in one particular day, 60k can be the point of control, but if in a month the point of control is 67k, of course, apparently 67k is a much more important number. A lot more volume has been traded there. A lot more generally, but people have participated around that level, so you would expect it to be stronger. No, links can't be shared in YouTube or not here in the chat, but that's mainly against scammers. Because they then send you links like, oh, WhatsApp me signals. Thank you, Mrs. Blah blah. Thanks to your signals, I made 15 Bitcoin in 1 year. You don't need signals for that, no. But yeah, so I no links are allowed. I turned that off. Yeah. Would I sell my Bitcoin after 10 years of pump? Could this wave 4 be a zigzag that retraces above? No. Invalidation for wave 4 is the 618. If you do move down after, it's a different structure. And you can have a lot of zigzags, but you can't have wave 4 move above the 618. So you can have zigzags, but none of these. If you're looking for a wave 4, right? So could this wave 4 be a zigzag going above 618? No. Can you have a zigzag moving above the 618? Yes, but then you'll have to count it differently. Oh yeah, we do. We always do altcoin streams, and I looked at Ethereum 2 days ago. So if you go to the alt stream, so you go to the channel altcoin Elliott wave analysis. This one here. So here you can see we did the ETH as well. By the way, makes me think. Guys, what do you think of, 1 second. I want to show you a thumbnail that Jeroen made. Yesterday, someone was talking about using magenta, I don't know what the correct pronunciation is. So we were talking about thumbnails in one, like, what was it, 2 streams ago? And Jeroen was there watching. So he was like, yo, I'm gonna try and figure some stuff out. Now, he isn't too sure yet about the green box around Elliott waves, but this is what he quickly made. So instead of green, blue, magenta, pink, and then blue. What do you think? So for the altcoins, like a standard thumbnail for the alts here, very bright pink. I think the pink looks actually quite nice together with the blue. I like it. Maybe we have to make this Elliott Wave's box blue as a background. Question will yeah, there's so far there's the bullish CVDs are just playing out. There's no clear weakness yet. 886 bullish CVDs. I'm curious to see if we take the high, what's gonna happen. So the local almost played out. The bullish CVDs locally almost played out. Got to go a little bit higher. Okay, July 24th. Oh, that was yesterday. Okay, but that's where it starts. Interesting. Papa, how you doing, man? Maor, favorite channel for Bitcoin. Cheers, Maor. Thank you. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm trying my best to give as much value as we possibly can. By the way, I do like, so we are hanging around on a lower time frame a lot of the time here, but just on a higher time frame, right? We are at the low of the range. We are looking for WXY, where we did hit a target for a wave C, right? We're in the target for a wave Y as well, in a WXY. In the most bullish scenario, you're at your final common target. So, and we know on a weekly time frame, probabilities are higher for the bulls. So from a swing trading perspective, it's quite an interesting area, right? I mean, you're at the low of the range, but of course, preferably locally, we see some very clear signs of strength. The bullish CVDs is 1. So yeah, and that is mainly it. It's those bullish CVDs. Wait, did we took it now? No. So New York is going to open in 4 minutes. Let's see if we get some fireworks. Did you check? Touch on Discord. I'm not sure, actually. I don't think so, because else I probably would have remembered. I would need to check. Oh yeah, so this is a flat. Yeah, so before A, B, so you're looking for an A, B, C, regular flat, and then a 5, a 3, and then a 5. Of course, there's no reason not to think this is a possibility. Of course, in the diagonal, wave 3 a little bit longer than 1, but that's not an invalidation. Just to enlarge it, by the way, so that everyone can see it. So A, B, C, within be a zigzag A, B, C. Absolutely a possibility. But I will only look for flats the moment we're going to move up here and we actually have a bit more confirmation of an impulse to the upside, right? So yeah, wave 3 is a little bit longer than 1. We touched the 886, which is a wave B, or on some charts we did, not on all. But that does give the opportunity for wave C up inside a bigger B for then A, B, and then move down in C. This would, of course, continue the range. Weekly order block. Yeah, so we indeed have a weekly order block here. It's an important area with regards to the value areas as well. Value area high of the 2021 range. So it's absolutely legitimate. We first need confirmation of a bigger impulse, of course, but maybe we get that now in 1 minute, because I mean, as price is ranging here, this local structure mean, if we want to count this, so first of all, this has low probabilities to be an impulse, right? It does increase probabilities to take the high, but this structure down, also this has to be 1, 2. If you're really looking for downside, look at all the overlap. So we can't count an impulse, we can't count a diagonal just yet, it's too early, so you would then need to think about a double 1, 2, but then you have bullish CVDs here. Did we took the high now? Yeah. So the bullish CVDs played out locally. And now New York is open. How are you doing? Oh yeah, I mean, doing good. Stable, chilling, patient, waiting, observing. Yeah. Doing a lot of work. Sometimes a bit stressful, as we are also going to move to the south of France. So besides all of the YouTube stuff, you know, we're also busy with apartments and contracts and meetings and So it's quite nutty. Okay, so the ABCD, an ABCD. Oh, that's for harmonics. Yeah, that's not Elliott waves. You use this for harmonics, so I can't answer the question because this is harmonics trading. So from an Elliott wave point of view, you start at 50.5. Which was the before the range started. Then you have A at the all-time high. Yes, and then A, B, C, and then look for D. Yeah, so this is harmonics, and harmonics are not part of Elliott waves. And with Elliott waves, you can't start counting in the middle of a pump. So you can't use X starting at 50.5K in Elliott waves. You can with harmonics, but it's a completely different way of analyzing the chart. So yeah, I can't have an opinion because I'm not knowledgeable about the harmonics. I can only say that from an Elliott waves point of view, you can't start a structure in the middle of a bigger pump up. So on the daily, right, this is where you start, this one here, like, or here. Here. So of course this is in the middle of a move up. So from an Elliott wave point of view, I can't start something here and then count this as a structure. It's not possible. So you can possibly do that with harmonics, but yeah, I don't use harmonics, and actually I've never actually studied harmonics. I only know the Gardley because I read about it once. Could you once again explain who absorbs whom in CVD? My translator, man, yeah, I gotta talk slower, eh? Who absorbs who? Okay, so if we have a higher low on price, but a lower low on the CVD, so this is price, this is CVD, right? This is a bullish CVD divergence, which means that market shorts are being absorbed by market or by limit long positions. So market shorts absorbed by limit longs, because CVD shows market orders, right? The line shows market orders. So if CVD is moving down, then there are more people selling at the higher low than people are selling at the lower low. However, price did not make it below the lower low. So someone's absorbing those shorts with a limit long. Of course, everyone, this is context dependent, and this is for the sake of an example, right? It's not that every CVD divergence is a trade or, plays out. You need experience, like with any tool. A bearish CVD is a lower high on price, but a higher high on the CVD, right? Bear. Now, this means that even though price made a lower high, there are more people buying at the lower high than that there were people buying at the higher high. Because CVD is moving up. So there's more market buyers here, right, than there were here. But price did not make it up to the previous high. So even though there are more buyers, someone is absorbing those market buys with a limit short. And once those people are exhausted, price then reverses. So that is the theory of CVD. Accidentally pressed caps there. So hopefully that was good enough for the translator. FIP time, yes, that's innovation. Yeah, that is a possibility. Yeah. What's up, Adam? How are you doing? Good morning. I am learning how to use Fibonacci. What could be the next good tool to learn? So Fibonacci is one, so the normal Fib tool. Then you probably you already do that, and then extension, and then I would probably move into Fib time or move away from Fibonacci. Also depends, are you using the fibs in relation to Elliott waves or not? Because else Fib time is not really useful if you don't use Elliott waves, really. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is relevant if you trade harmonics, right? So you can trade harmonics with Fib time because it's actually important, harmonics and Fib time as well. That's what I remember. But if you do like Elliott waves, then Fib time would be an option. And the next good tool, anything that's up to your liking, volume profile, channels, speed fan, the VWAP, RSI, MACD, money flow indicator, patterns, candlestick patterns. It depends on what you're looking for as well. It's June, I know. Generally, the summer months are slow in the market. Yeah. What's up, Christian? The green is a little too dominant. Make it just a frame. Oh wait, you're talking about the thumbnail. Yeah. Wait, this one. The green is a bit too dominant. Make it just a frame around. Oh, so you mean around around the letters. So instead of black, make the letters green. I think that's what you mean. That's worth trying. Thanks, Christian. Yeah, the letter. Oh, there you go. What is the common target for C in an ABC? In a zigzag, it's between the 1 and the 1.236. That is your most common. The 1.618 is actually also pretty common, but this most common, rare. I think wave 4 is not finished yet. As long as we don't hit 62.2k, that would be true. Yeah. gotta move up in that case. Suhail, welcome. Hoshi, good to have you here again. Hoshi Notan Sidrich Tensai Batake Sedo. Yo. Let's have a look at the most local CVD divs. What's happening here? Hmm. My wife is on her way home now from the other side of the world, coming back to the Netherlands. Pleasure, Saraga. What's up, Andrew? Do you prefer CVD absorption to be effective in always low time frame? Yeah. CVD on the higher time frames is a lot less effective because if you have a bullish CVD, and it's also because once you get experience in CVD and you understand how it works, it makes sense. If you have a daily bullish or bearish CVD divergence, but on the 15-minute, you continue building CVDs that are opposite. Like, so if you have a bullish daily CVD divergence, but on the 15-minute, 30-minute, you continue to build bearish CVD divergences, probabilities are much higher you go down. I can actually give an example as well, as price is almost taking it low. So we have bullish CVDs here, like constantly, right? But look, we are just dropping because every time we just locally created bearish CVD divergences. And you might just continue this and continue until you eventually take the low at 56. Well, I mean, we know. But the thing is, the lower local time frame CVD is always most important. Volume profile is a good tool. I would agree. I like the volume profile, yeah. Bullish CVD on yellow in the last two lows. Yeah, with this one here. Well, a bit of volume coming in as well. Yeah, so we don't actually, no, we don't have it with this low. We do have it on the low time frame here though. You can change your YouTube name in the settings, so you can change the handle if you wish to. What is if the drop down is what? Contrarian. What is if the drop down is 5 times 1.2? I'm not sure what you mean here. It's like doing math here. Like 11.2. No, just 11. Roy Melendres, welcome. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. From the Philippines, no? So New York Open almost for 15 minutes now. I mean, not too much has happened just yet. What if the drop down are all 1-2s? In that case, I would go for a double or a single 1-2. So if you're thinking about 1-2s, I would change the A-B scenario, right? So 1 second here. I would change A and B into a 1 and 2. Because if all of these are 1-2s, first of all, having so many 1-2s, so you're like, oh yeah, and it's the structure. So of course a wave 1 has to be a 5-wave structure, right? So you, because of all the 3-wave structures here, you would need some sort of a diagonal. So then I would have a 1-2 and then look for a 3. But if we're looking for a 3, then we want to see very impulsive continuation to the downside, right? Like big volume increase, but yeah, you want to see price falling. So And also, if we do think about an impulse, then yeah, as mentioned, we just want to go. We don't want to range. We don't want to spend time ranging. We just want to dump very quick, very scary, very fast, and then start ranging here for a wave 4. But yeah, so because even if we're looking for a zigzag, we would look for preferably a wave 5 down. You can still change this scenario, of course, to a 1 2 and then 1 2 3 4 5 and then 4 5. But I don't yet want to show 1 2 3 4 5 because the 1 2 3 4 5 is the same as the ABC, but then after C you expect another 4 5. But it only makes sense to talk about it once you actually go down once more at least as a minimum. So I think I may actually have it. Oh, here you go. Yeah, I do have it in my folders, but I don't yet cover it. But I do have it prepared for when the time comes. Yeah, if I do have to start covering it, then but preferably you're going to take the low at least once more. How to find support and resistance. Oh, by the way, Adam, welcome. Asanov, I'll make sure to check it out. But support and resistance depends on the tools that you like to use. So, I mean, unless you talk about very simple support resistance, but any tool in TradingView can be support resistance. So, for example, these are just horizontal boxes. Right? Support, support, a little bit of a deviation, support again, currently support, right? Resistance, 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 resistance. So this is, of course, your most simplistic way of analyzing a chart is support resistance levels. But then you can use any other tool. So the volume profile, this is now resistance, 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 right? But if you are ranging here, then this is support and this is support. Well, just depends on which side you are. If you use Fibonacci, right, depending on the pull you do with your fibs, you use the fibs for support. If you pull it from a low to a high, you're looking for support. If you pull the fibs from a high to a low, you're looking for resistance. Trend lines, right? Trend line resistance. So I don't know if people may probably have pulled a trend line, something like this. So trend lines support and resistance as well. You can channel, right? Yeah, another form of support or resistance using channels, the midline, the top line, the lower line. Speed fan, also a way to analyze the chart, right? Support and resistance. So as you can see, you can use many tools, but it's about what you like to use and how you then combine them. Of course, you have a lot of different indicators. I never use indicators, right? You never see them on my chart, except volume. I do have a few here, but I never use them, only to show in case I get questions. But many people use RSI and MACD and those type of things. So yeah, you can use anything. The main question you got to ask yourself is, what do I like to use, right? And that is based on your experience. So the first thing you got to do is build experience with the tools and indicators, and then take the next step to figure out which ones you like the most, and then continue with these. Can we count this drop as a 2? I guess that is related. Asanov, please, if you post a picture, make sure to do it in public. I don't want to open all the diamond chatting. So unless you've posted something here, I can't see it during the live stream, because of course it's the diamond group where we talk about a lot of different things. But make sure to tag me if you post it in Elliott Wave only. Make sure to tag me. I got it open. I got the screen open here. Cheers, cheers. So if you repost it, then make sure to tag me and I'll put it on stream now. I'm keeping an eye on it. All the altcoins are booming today, while Bitcoin is ranging. The most awkward cycle. Every cycle has its own characteristics, doesn't it? What do you think about making a channel in Discord for us to discuss different tools indicators we find useful? Then others attempting to make a plan can browse through the channel for ideas. I mean, it's that would be like a bit of a research and development type of channel. Like, of course, I could add a channel like this. And then it very much depends on the activity. The thing is, if people are going to analyze the chart using the tool, then we have Bitcoin TA for that, right? So we don't need another channel. But if they write about, hey, this is the volume profile and this is how I use it in order to educate others, then it would be good to have a channel like, hey, I use the VWAP and this is how I use it. That would be helpful. But if people say, hey, price is at this level, it hit the VWAP, and it's just like a Bitcoin TA type of post, like the Bitcoin TA channel, then I don't need to make a new channel to talk about tools. So I'm no problem adding a channel just for the tools, but it needs to be an educational one where people teach each other. At the moment, of course, the focus is very much TA. And if people have questions about tools, currently I see in TA that people do ask others. Or they can use general chat, of course, as well. But this is definitely at least something to remember for the future, just in case, for sure. Yeah, there's always, of course, there's always probabilities. Nothing is 100%. And with the ABC, we did at least touch the wave C target, right? So at least we have touched the wave C target box here. It's just that if we count this as a 2, these ranges, so this one here, yeah, this can be your wave 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The problem is that your wave 4 is very short in time compared to 2. So it's not easy to give the highest probabilities of this being a wave 4 and then a finished 5 waver. So that is why we keep an eye on the 618, because if you do hit the 618, that is when the probabilities increase that you have an impulse down here. Yeah. Which of course increases probabilities for a bounce. When trading a price, it's approaching resistance area and you want to enter short. Where would you put the stop loss? At just above or at the next local structure? Well, when price is approaching an area, I never. It's an interesting question, but I actually don't trade the approach. So, for the sake of the example, so this is an example. I am in currently no long positions. Just a disclaimer here for what I'm about to explain. So, price is coming down here, right? Now, arguably, you can be like, okay, I have a support resistance area here, and I need to find a position for a stop loss. So I put my limit entry at the high of the support, and now where am I going to put this? Now, for me personally, I wait. So I first of all wait for price to hit this area, and then I wait for the reaction. And if the reaction is what I like to see, then I will join long, right? And then probably my stop is below this because that's the invalidation. but I would not have a long set up here without observing the reaction. I'm a reactive trader, preferably entering with market orders. However, the stop loss is always different because it depends on price action. So the stop loss here, right, you can put it below the low if you would enter later, but if price is still coming down and you don't yet have this wick, stop loss can be below 56k. No, I mean, depends on what you trade. If you trade support and resistance and not Elliott waves, I mean, this is your support. So if you move below 56, then clearly your support didn't hold, right? So that's an invalidation. Yeah, same is true at the high. So we have over here clear resistance, we come back up. Of course, if price is going to move above the all-time high, that's an invalidation. Then your resistance clearly didn't hold. So if that is your perspective, you're going to look for price to move towards the downside from this area, and your invalidation is above the all-time high because that is when your resistance has filled. So what you have to think about yourself in your plan or strategy is, where am I wrong? When on the chart is the plan that I have invalidated? Now, if you're looking at very simple support resistance, well, clearly if you go down here, this support didn't hold. Clearly, if you go above all-time high, this resistance didn't hold. So that makes life easy, right? Easy type of trading. Of course, trading can be a lot more complex with different tools. But what I personally do is I trade reactions. So for example, at the high, right, price is approaching this area and I observe and I wait and I look for the reaction and I look at CVD and I look at Elliott waves and I look at volume, right? I look at all the different things I like to use and more. And then I make a decision. And then based on the decision, I will position my stop loss, which can be above the high or higher, but every trade I take is different. I don't have a set percentage stop loss. I don't have a, so it's the main question is, where are you wrong? Same locally, right? So if you're like, hey, I'm an Elliott wave trader. Now, first of all, by the way, I'm in a short from higher and I have not taken any position here. Disclaimer again, because of this structure to the upside, right? I'm not keen and I don't know, it's just an odd structure, no clarity. However, if you are an Elliott wave trader and you're like, I've analyzed the chart myself, right? Because in the end, you should only trade your own analysis. So I have analyzed the chart. And yes, I am confident. This is what you say to yourself, right? Not me. This is what you say to yourself. You're like, okay, we have a 1 and a 2. I'm confident. We're looking for a 4. That's currently the highest probabilities. And because I'm looking for a wave 4, I'm interested to enter a short between the 382 and the 05 area, right? Now, price moves towards the upside. This candle immediately moves to the 05 and poof. The other way around, else, problem. So, and then you're like, well, if I am trading a wave 4, then clearly my 618 is the invalidation, right? Because that's where I'm wrong. Because it's not a target for 4. If you hit the 618, the probabilities, they're gone, right? So pretty much. So that's where you're wrong. So then you're like, okay, I'm looking for a 5, so I'm looking for price to move down for wave C. Somewhere, wherever. But my minimum target is the low of 3, because a truncated wave 5 is very rare to have a higher high here or a higher low. So your minimum target is the low of 3. Now, if one trades Elliott waves, you've done your analysis, you're confident you're looking for a wave 4, then you know exactly where you're wrong. And that is what's most important. Now, if price then moves up and hits your stop loss, well, you have a loss. Well, who cares? No one cares about having a loss. It's about long-term trading. One loss is not going to trade your career, right? If you have a win rate of 50% and you have a 1 to 2 win rate, you're a profitable trader, right? If you have a 1 to 3 win rate, a 1 to 3 RR with a 40% win rate, you're profitable. You're going to lose 60 out of 40 trades, but your ass is going to make money. No? So we don't focus on an individual trade. The only thing you need to have is a plan. And if you have a clear plan with arguments of why you consider the setup, you know exactly where you're wrong, and preferably you know your target as well, there is no reason not to take the trade. Because if you're wrong, it's part of the game. Well, and you just look to the next setup. You're going to trade the next one. It's no problem to be wrong, right? So with the support resistance thing, right? If your plan is to put a limit order on the support resistance box here and your stop loss below 56K, that's the plan, right? And then you just follow the plan, and then the chart will show you if it is correct or not. And if it is incorrect and price moves below 56K, then who cares, 1% loss, because you should have risk management. So 1% loss, okay, on to the next one. Can't catch them all. There's no one with 100% win rate. You always have a loss at some point. So most important of this whole story that I've just told you is know where you're wrong. You gotta know your invalidation, and then just trade and let the chart do its thing. Just put it on, stick to the plan. Do not touch the trade unless you have clear invalidations, like, hey, price is doing this, it didn't yet hit my stop loss, but I have clearly, based on data, identified that this goes against my trading setup, so I have to get out, right? But not because of emotions. I'm scared, Stick to the plan. Don't exit because of emotions. Exit because of data, because of probabilities. Lots of chatting. Ooh. So there you go. Yes, Andrew. Are we in a wave 4 on the weekly? Currently, that's the highest probability. The 1112 is an option, but both of these scenarios are leading to the same result, which is you take all-time high, and then after taking all-time high, we take it from there. Of course, if you do move down to 49.3K, then a wave 4 is invalidated and the 1112 is left. But as long as you don't hit 49.3K, the wave 4 is the preferred, the primary. And then if you take all-time high, and that, because in both of the scenarios you're looking for all-time highs. So only after we take the all-time high will we know if we're looking at a wave 3 or a wave 5. But that's just stuff that we can analyze after the fact, because in both cases we're looking for price to move up. The only difference is if you move below 49.3, your wave 4 is invalidated. What about wave 4 triangle finished? This is not a triangle here. A, B, C, D, E. I mean, this is this being a triangle. I mean, this A, B, C, D, E, and then a move down. Maybe I'm a bit quick saying it's not a triangle. I mean, I gotta say it's all ugly. So if this is a triangle, that means you need an ABC here with a short C. This has to be probably WXY-ish because of the staircase structure to the downside. So A, B, C. Yeah, it's not a clear, because so in a triangle, 4 out of the 5 waves have to be zigzags, right? And if one is not, it is by far most common wave C or wave D. So therefore, this is wave B, A, B. So then we need a B here, and then B needs to be A, B, and then what? We have overlap here. Yeah. Anyway, it has to be some sort of a B, whatever. And then you have C, and then you have D, and then you have E. Is this a possibility? Yes. Is it nice? No. But at the moment, there is no no clear structure, nor bullish nor bearish. So yeah, there is the possibility. We do have bullish CVDs here. That's the thing. I want to see those invalidated before we really think about moves down. Holy moly, what's the CVD doing, yo? Now we have some bearish CVDs here, but yeah, it's too local. Just wait. So of course with a triangle, the problem is that your wave B, if that is the B, is incredibly shallow, right? So your common target for a wave B in a triangle is the golden pocket to the 786. Of course, we didn't get close. We also didn't touch the 0.382. We only touched the 0.236. Yeah, it's not great, but yeah, there is the possibility for a triangle if we at least look at the structure. This has to be a three-wave structure then. It's not too great as a three-waver, but it has to be a 3, 3, 3, 3, and you want to continue down. So then again, very clear invalidation. No? Or maybe you stop. Experimental tools. So I of course keep an eye on Discord and what's being written there, but at the moment I don't yet see the value because there's so much chatting in Bitcoin TA. Like I will only add a channel if I really see, and it has to be used in the correct way, because if we get Bitcoin TA posts in a tools channel, so I can make a tools channel, it could be interesting, and then people can talk about tools, but I don't want to see analysis. The moment I see that channel being used for analysis, it's Bitcoin TA and it's going to rival Bitcoin TA, so I'll remove it again. Because we can't have two of the same channels. But if people talk about tools there and they pull, hey, I pulled a volume profile, am I pulling it correctly? Like, what's the value area low doing here? That's the interesting stuff. So tool talk. Yeah, I don't speak English. Nonetheless, welcome. Hopefully your translator keeps up. Altcoins is on Altcoin Sunday. Wayeb from Saudi Arabia, welcome. Good to have you here once again. Well, I've seen your messages before, but cheers. Now you're talking, so good to have you. I have a couple of points that I add based on wick candles. If you go to the 4-1 hour. Of course, the candles with a wick, right, are most important on daily and weekly time frames. I don't focus on these on 4-hour and 1 hour. But if we go to a 4-hour, and then 321, that's probably 21st of March, no? But all of these candles have wicks. Previous bull market. Oh, wait. March 2021. If you go to the 4-hour or the 1 hour, I can't go this far back on a 1 hour time frame, but on the 4-hour, and then in March, yeah, I mean there's a candle here, right? There's candles here, but then you're already moving. I only use unwick candles on a daily and weekly time frame. I don't use them on 4-hour, 1 hour, 5 minute So I only use them on the higher time frame. But if you have identified a if you have identified, how can I say this differently? So you have identified wicked candles and unwicked candles, and the unwicked candles on a certain time frame can create a bounce at a later stage. Now the next step is now to build some statistics. So hey, if we have a new, more recent 4-hour, 1-hour candle without a wick, does price come back there and bounce? And if so, how much? Where should I put the stop loss? So that you can use it in your trading. I'm actually not sure if we understand each other, but I think we do, right? Can we drink now? The folks always drinking. The problem though that the next time it goes up, it's going to be a major. Yeah, I mean that's why on the weekly time frame, the probabilities are still higher to continue the trend. Besides the fact, by the way, that of course the next time we go up, ADK is never a guarantee. We can just continue this range for longer, but eventually on the weekly, the probabilities are higher to continue the trend. So in short, we have to do meditation if we want to trade. If you like to do meditation, you still favor this whole move as a wave 4 within main wave 3 or main. Are we talking about the weekly time frame, Samuel? Because if we're talking about the weekly, then yes. At the moment, there's no reason yet to think about it being the wave 4. I think you talk about the weekly, yeah. But the thing is, on a weekly time frame, in both cases, we still look for the all-time high to be taken. So it's similar to the 1112. The real answer is it doesn't matter, but the probabilities say it's a lower degree wave 4. Because the reason the real answer really is it doesn't matter is because in both cases you look for the all-time high to be taken, and then based on the daily 4-hour, 1-hour structures, that is when we can reanalyze the chart and see what's going to happen next. So the moment you break all-time high and continue ranging again, that is when we can decide if we're looking for another 4, if we are moving up in a wave 3, or if it's the end of a bull market. Head and shoulders, yeah, has been mentioned earlier. Yeah. What is the volume of the current range on the daily? Yeah, it's just moving down. It's still just very low, which is very typical for corrective structures, wave 4s, wave 2s. Yeah. Yeah. Cheers, Wyatt. Ace winner. Who knows? Having a bit of off time. Jiajun, capable of general formation of an accumulation base. This is Wyckoff, and I am not a Wyckoff analyst, so I won't be able to tell you. The only thing from an Elliott wave point of view I can tell you is that an accumulation is a wave 2. You have a wave 1, wave 2 accumulation, and then you look for a wave 3. This is your accumulation. So from an Elliott wave point of view, it's a wave 2. Preferably, we see some bullish CVDs so that there's absorption. And then your wave 4, that is your distribution. One more move up in 5, and then you end the trend and get a bigger move down. But all of the different, like the highs and the lows and so, that's Wyckoff theory. And unfortunately, I'm not an expert in Wyckoff. I'm in Elliott waves, but I've never studied Wyckoff. But from an Elliott wave point of view, accumulation is a wave 2 and distribution is a wave 4. Sibel, I'm actually curious. I do not watch. So this is it's quite interesting, but I guess it's quite similar to people that are on Twitch and play games for a living, which I used to do in the past. Is I never watch trading videos or channels. I I never watch that content. So I honestly, because I'm already involved so much myself, that when I do have off time, I prefer to look at other stuff. So I'm actually curious what's happening on the Moon Boy front. Are they talking already about 5 million and stuff? Lol. By the way, very nice to see Stuba in here as well. Welcome back, man. Was enjoying his summer in I actually don't know where he lives, but in the place where he lives. Also looking for that triangle, right? A, B, C, D, E. B is very shallow, but if there is one way to count this a wave 4, then a triangle is definitely one of the ways to count this. And that would be, by the way, Gamio, that would be a bearish wave 4, of course. Overmind. Oh wait, this is also local price section. Yeah, okay, yeah, this I wouldn't analyze this the same way. So Overmind is counting this as a wave 4, and then somewhere here is a wave 2, but of course the difference between wave 4 and 2 is incredible. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, did we hit the... I forgot, did we hit the 618? I think we did, huh? Yeah. Netherlands, Austria. Where's Flotty? We gotta find Flotty. What are the chances for the end of the bull market? Are they very low? Yeah, very low. Like if you want the number to it, it's like, if we talk probabilities, with 73.8 being the end of the bull market, and we now impulse down. And first of all, the leading diagonal, wave 3 is longer than 1. Wave 2 hit the 886. Wave 2 doesn't have a high probability of ending at the second time. We hit 72K, as there's no clear 3-wave structure to the upside. So then we would still prefer to continue this range longer, which means that at a later stage we give better probabilities. But at the moment, probabilities are like 95 to 5. Continuations, yeah, much higher for continuation. Taking all-time highs. Yes, that would be interesting, absolutely. But we kind of had this already twice now. So I also know that you can't keep doing this. You already had the all-time high tap twice. We hit 886s twice now. So I think, third time might just be a continuation. Yeah. Which fibs are the targets for the fifth wave on the weekly chart? Same as on, of course, all the other time frames, but with that regard, make sure to check out Impulse Elliott Waves Beginner's Guide. So on the weekly, you pull it the same as on a 1 hour chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be very quick because you can find it in more detail in the video. But if you're looking for a wave 4, you take the 1.236 to the 1.618 Fibonacci from the start to the end of your wave 4 to get the target for your wave 5. You take the 0.618 from the start of 1 to the end of 3 to the end of 4, also a target for 5. And then you take the 1-to-1 trend-based fib extension from the low to the high of 1 to the low 4. That's also a target. You add these 4, combine them, create a zone, and then the lowest one of these 3 and the highest one are the low and high of your zone for 5. And this is how you then create the target area that I have on the weekly time frame here. So these ones. So I actually think the low here is the 1-to-1. Oh no, it's the 1.236 and the high is the 0.618 as just explained. So the 1.6236 taken from the high to the low, and the 0.618 is taken from this low to this high to the low here. Yeah, I made a playlist, like it's a full Elliott wave guide. Everything you need to know about Elliott waves is in this playlist. The bearish market has opened. Oh, you mean the New York market, I guess. Yeah, for now we're moving up. The bullish CVD divergences are about to play out, and there we go. So let's see. Let's see what we get. Could of course be a double or triple 1-2 here. For the monthly chart, do you expect to finish a blue or red candle for this month? A blue or red candle is irrelevant. The candle color doesn't matter. Unless you trade probabilities connected to a candle color, but the color of the candle is irrelevant to Elliott waves or my type of analysis. So it doesn't matter if it closes red, if it closes green. It will not change what's happening locally in this range. Of course, the monthly open is very high. So, I mean, if you want to close this green, you got to move above 67.1K in the remaining 6 days or 5 days. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we took the high. Bullish CVD divergences have finally played out. It was about time, no? And now it's all about seeing if we can get some continuation and maybe a double or triple 1-2 scenario here. And this is also exactly why I'm very aware of this CVD when trading. No. Bullish CVDs, and these have now played out. Also the reason, of course, as mentioned, I'm not fancying a short earlier because of the CVDs. The main question is if you can now find the strength to continue and at least hit 62.2K, and if not, continue towards the upside, of course. So if I open the target boxes, we want to move above the resistance here. Of course, we're moving above it now. I want to stay above it. And then towards the upside, there's not too much that I have going on. Wait, we do have a daily and a weekly naked point of control here, actually. Still a long way to go, but you do want price to accelerate now, right? So if this is bullish, then make it be a double 1-2 move up impulsively. Has the probability of wave 4 being the bottom decreased due to the recent downtrend? Being the bottom is still a absolutely probability that you don't go below 56, but 56K being the end of your wave 4 does not have great probabilities at the moment. It's a possibility. It's basically, as mentioned in the analysis, it's the bullish scenario where you count a wave 1, 2, continue in a wave 3 compared to the WXY at the moment. So, but your wave 2 went so deep. It's all explained in the analysis. I just don't want to go and zoom out all again and stuff. But your wave 2 went so deep, almost touching the 886, and on some charts it did touch the 886, that a wave 2 doesn't have great probabilities compared to wave 4, that all this price action is still part of wave 4. How's married life treating you? No, South Africa was the wedding destination. We married in Cape Town, South Africa. My wife's from Cape Town, and we wanted to marry there. So, of course, we're married by Dutch law, but the party, the celebrations were in Africa, like the ceremony and everything. But married life, exactly the same. I think it's more of a thing in the past, I guess, where there was a big difference between being married and not married. But nowadays, it's many people live together already before they're married, and yeah, it's exactly the same. The only difference is that I wear a ring around my finger. That's it, really. But we had a good time during the wedding. It was amazing. Pictures are great, memories are great. Everyone enjoyed. It was great to see the families together as well. First time both of the families met one another, because they live on the other side of the world. No? It's not easy. So yeah, we had a great time. We had a great time. Very much enjoyed it. Thanks for asking. So yeah, South Africa. South Africa is such an amazing country with regards to nature and some of those venues. It's just so shit when you look at the crime. Yeah, but not, by the way, no one of my family nor her family, no one ever got in touch with problems in South Africa. But we all know the crime rate is incredibly high, at least to European countries. So every time I go there, it is something I keep in mind. I'm never really comfortable going to South Africa, not gonna lie. But the destination we had, the venue we hired, all the people there, everything was picobello. Yeah, it was amazing. And the main reason also to go there, besides the nature, is of course her family. The South African rand is very weak. They can't just fly to the other side of the world, How late's football? I actually don't know. I don't really watch football. Oh, 6 p.m. apparently. Where's the golden pocket? Do you mean on the daily? Or because on the daily we already passed it, of course. Can you have a WXY inside a wave B? Yes. A double zigzag? You can have a double zigzag in the wave B, yes. And a WXY in B, yes. What's the higher probability to the upside? Well, the bullish CVD divergence is now played out. Some volume coming in. If price can touch the 618, the probabilities will increase even more for price to move up. Arguably, we have now, for now at least, broken the resistance. We haven't yet closed any candles up here. But yeah, so far so good, no? Some volume coming in as well. Volume increasing, price moving up. Bullish CVDs have played out. But 62.2k, yo. Important. Of course, on a weekly and daily, we are looking for upside. It's just on the 50-minute, those ugly structures. Okay, thank you. Is there any confluence between inverse and the shoulders target, and Elliott wave targets would be higher than the neck and or the head and shoulders probably, because if you are gonna reverse, I mean, there's not too much going on, so you would probably at least expect the weekly naked point of control. 65 100. It's not a bad target. Of course, your head is very, very long as well, but I wouldn't know. Like, probably you might have a target around 65.1 as well with the head and shoulders. But if you bounce here, right? Yeah, daily and weekly is your first area of resistance, really. Maybe this range is like a little bit, but that's the thing on the. So we hit the targets on the with regards to probabilities as well, right? So there's always that potential to just move back up. And on the 4-hour time frame, as explained, when price is moving down, even if we make another low here, yes or no, we are still looking for a bounce on the 4-hour time frame. It's just that on the 1 hour here, this structure up was not clear, but now we get a little bit of clarity very soon. Yeah? So, and then we'll take it from there. It's good to see a little bit of action as well. We have been very patient. By the way, wave B in a zigzag we're talking about, right? But I don't know what you mean. We have 5 waves down in A since it touched your white box. 5 waves here. Yeah, but if this is a 5 waver, you're not allowed to take the high, yeah? A 535 ABC, wave B cannot take the high. Only in a flat, a wave B can take the high. Yeah, 62, 200. We're almost there. Sibel. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's life just continues, you know. But we had a great time. Most of the people here are great. We are a strange bunch, I guess. Most of the crime is in the big cities and township, but that goes, yeah. Yeah. It's just you know, it's, of course, we also have shit going on in the Netherlands. Like, no one will say that's not true, but of course, you know, it's the percentage is completely different. I think in South Africa, I once saw or heard the statistics on a news page in South Africa where I think it's 20,000 killings on 60 million people in the country or something. And in the Netherlands, I think it's like 100 and something on 18 million, which of course, like percentage wise, there's a massive difference. So it's just it's a bit more. I'm never 100% comfortable. If I don't have to go to Africa, I won't go. You know, but if I go for birthday parties, the wedding, visiting the family of my wife, I always go. But if I don't have to, then I prefer to stay here. Would love to go on safari. Yeah, Kruger Park. You should go to Kruger Park. Kruger Park is amazing. I've been there. So the thing is, I say this now, but in 2017, I backpacked South Africa from Joburg to Cape Town with zero preparation. And I even did a township tour in Cape Town. Can you believe? I was the only guy walking with the tour guide, which was a local living in the township. And there I was with my backpack, being the absolute like tourist with my wallet and everything, phone, blah, blah, walking through the township with the guide, entering the township houses and seeing how they live and the little dance school and how they give food to people. And man, it's one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in my life. One of the best as well, because it brings everything in perspective. But I would never do it again. It was amazing. The guide was amazing. The people I met in the townships, they were great. Like, no problem, no nothing, no people touching, just chatting, saying hi. I mean, but I now in the current state, I guess, of the country, I wouldn't do it again though. Also, the airport area in Cape Town is a scary area. You know, the area around the airport. It's not great. If you short now, you have a low RR. Depends on your plan, of course. I mean, if your stop loss is the 618 and you're looking for a 4 and a 5 down, arguably your RR is going to be massive. It's just that you might get stopped out very soon. As an off-roader, I would love South Africa, but the crime rate is what makes me not a salvage over couples facing 10 men with which, yeah. I mean, look, it's all, the thing is, I have never, in the 7 years I went to South Africa, I have never encountered any problems, anything. Not hiking with 2 people. When I was backpacking, no problems. I went in the crazy taxis as well. In hindsight, not very smart as well. I've never had problems in the country, ever. It's also just being streetwise, you know, like you got to know, like, you know, not to leave your bag at some random place because it's going to get snatched, right? But you don't do that in Paris as well. So it's, so I've never had any problems, but it doesn't mean that I'm not thinking about it. So I am prepared that something can happen. So I just prepare, which is healthy. Of course, you prepare everywhere. I mean, if you go to another country or also to a big city, if you go to New York or Paris or Amsterdam, of course, you're like prepared. But it's just that the crime rate is very different. The chances it happens is much lower. Don't stop here. Little move so far. At least volume is increasing. What structure? Well, preferably, if we then do move, I would actually like to see a wave 3 here, where we then count this as a 1-2-1-2, and we move up in a wave 3. But yes, we have to pass the golden pocket. That is true. So we had bullish CVDs building here. These have now played out. Yeah, if you hit the 618, of course, your preferred scenario is going to switch to bullish price action. But if this is a wave 3, you want continuation now. So now it's about managing the wave 3, right? So if we move, then preferably you're looking for 1-2-1-2, maybe another 1-2 and a 3. Because this structure is so awkward, there is always that chance you're looking for a single 1-2. And then move up in 3. But of course, if you're bullish, you want to work in a 3 now. Like this being, or you're going to think about diagonals, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one more high and a 5 to create a diagonal. That's your bullish alternative. And then after 5, you move down, correct, and then continue. But by all means, you would then still look for a little bit of a higher high. So now that we took the high, makes life a little bit easier for the bulls. You're either looking for a 3 in both cases, but then a diagonal or an impulse. Like impulse would be 1, 2, and then up you go. And in a diagonal, it's 1, 2, 3, looking for 4 and 5. But the diagonal only gets higher probabilities if you actually move down in 4, overlap with 1, 3-wave structure, zigzag, minimum, and then move up in 5. And it's too early to talk diagonals. I'm not a fan of counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wave 5 here, because your wave 4 is incredibly big compared to where's your wave 2. This here can't be wave 2 because wave 4 touched the 618, invalidates a wave 4. So step by step. Gouda par. In the darkest area of South Africa. No, me neither. I've been there 7 times, never had problems. But it doesn't mean your chances are increased to have problems. In a flat. Yeah, in a flat, but then A, flat in B, and then wait. So I'm a bit confused now, but let me just, I guess, get to the point. If you look at wave A being a 3-wave structure, right? Wave A has to be part of a flat. Can't be anything else. You can't have a zigzag anymore. Means your wave B has to go to at least 0.9% of A and then move up for C. But wave B in a flat, being a flat by itself, is incredibly rare. So that is not something to look for. You know, actually, what a bullish scenario. I guess. By the way, maybe this is what you mean, Pepe. A flat, yeah. Because the retracement is so shallow, if we do count this as a 1, right? For the sake of simplicity, we then accept the fact that wave 5 ended on high volume. 1, 2, sorry, and then 3, right? Yeah. And then you have a flat structure. Which of course would be your bearish bullish scenario, right? So if you do have a 1, A, B, C continuation. And then you have a deeper retracement, at least touching the 3A2. Afrikaans, descended from Dutch, that's correct. So do you speak any Afrikaans? I can understand them. I don't speak it, but I can follow the conversation if they talk slowly. What if we go above the 618? Next resistance would be the daily. 64.2. We also now, of course, hit the low of this range. Bit of resistance with the 618. But the flat is that Papa mentioned. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Because we have such a gap down here. So like the retracement is so shallow. It's definitely an interesting scenario. But you are at the breaking point of a flat. Because you don't want to hit the 1.618. If you hit the 1.618, it significantly reduces probabilities for a flat in a wave A, B, and then a C. Probabilities are then higher. You're looking at an impulsive structure locally. How does one identify? Is there a sign on there that says so? You know, T. Clepson, you know, in Cape Town, those buses, like there's hundreds of them that drive like absolute mad fucking men on the road, not caring about the rules. You know which ones I'm talking about? The ones where every driver has a gun, and those are the ones that were battling the official bus drivers, like the bigger buses, when the government in Cape Town decided to do something that was benefiting the bigger bus drivers, but was against the crazy bus drivers. And then the crazy bus drivers, like they lit up some of those buses, they killed some of the bus drivers. They are causing a lot of trouble. No, those are the crazy buses. Probably, I mean, come on, if I Google this, can I find it? Cape Town crazy bus. So I don't know the official name. No, this is not the best bus. The best bus is for backpacking. Come on, what are those small buses, man? We always call it a crazy bus because here, these ones, I mean, don't fuck around with these buses if you're in Cape Town. I don't know, but we all call these crazy buses. Holy moly. What's happened? So these ones, right? Now, of course, you know, there's perfectly fine people in those buses as well. The problem is you don't know. Like, they are crazy. We call them taxis. Yeah, okay. No, well, it's quite a taxi. It's crazy. But hey, like, makes it exciting when you drive on the road. But yeah, whenever like you're standing next to one of these or whatever, just like you just let them go. Like, oh yeah, go ahead. You know, you go first. Man. Well, parallel channel fits the move very well. I'm not sure where you pull it from though. From the low to the high, you're gonna cut through this piece here. We'll see. You got the best. Yo, Matej Cypher, how you doing? You got the best Elliott Wave channel on YouTube. But don't. Hey, and Dutch, a Dutchie as well. Thanks for the kind words, Matej. It's it's a pleasure. I'm happy to read, of course, comments like this. I try to do as much as I can for everyone, and hopefully keep things as simple as possible. And yeah, hopefully it's valuable to many viewers like yourself. But yeah, cheers. Also Dutch, no? There's always a lot of Dutchies watching. But yeah, it's a pleasure, Matej. Thank you for writing the comment there. Yes, correct, Jason. Yeah. Yeah, but my friend Papa, if this is a 5-wave A, you're not allowed to move above this high, which has happened for a flat. So you can't count this 5, 3, 5. That's not possible. This structure is now a confirmed corrective structure. It is a confirmed 3-wave corrective structure here because we took the high. If this was a wave A or a wave 1, then we had to see this, but we didn't. So this has to be a 3-wave structure, but we can still have a B and then move down in a C to then create a bigger structure. That is possible, but it's not a 5-waver, this one here. Yeah. So yeah, 63K. If we move to 63K, I mean, arguably you're going to be looking for a little bit further, no? Yeah, 65.1 weekly naked point of control, support resistance area on the daily is here as well. Daily level 64.2. So yeah, if you can pass the little range here, and looking for continuation. The problem I have with the move up is that the retracement is so shallow. So I'm be careful, be careful. At least, so we have a volume increase, yes. Don't tell anyone. Shows it on a live stream. I don't know where the 50 EMA is though. Sounds like that, but I mean in Cape Town they're quite nutty. Yeah, I mean of course they generally I've never had problems, but that's because I always let them go because I have seen problems, so I prefer to just let them have it. Murat. Bull. Look, I've said it since the beginning of the stream. I just don't. I'm not a fan of this just yet. Probabilities, trading wise, no need to trade every move, but give me some more information. I'm happy to long or short wherever, but this is still not an area where I am interested. The bullish CVDs have played out. We got a volume move to the upside. Of course, the most bullish scenario is that you're now going to work on a wave 3. right? So you want to see very impulsive continuation to the upside. You don't want to range here too long because that would be bearish. But so far, the retracement is it's just all incredibly shallow, and it doesn't feel good to me just yet. Like, yeah, like we didn't even retrace to the 382, only the 236. It's a rare target for ABC 123 WXY. You would like to see the 382 touched. It's not impossible that it happens and that you have a shallow retracement and you continue, but the 236 is so rare a target for BX or a 2. And in this move up, none of your waves, like, so the only one that's been hit sometimes is the 236, not even anywhere. So if I pull from the low to here, no retracement to the 236, none. Like, where's my retracement? There's like nothing. And then only if I pull it to the high do we actually see a 236 touch. But the 236 is rare for BX and 2. So I don't know. I'm just not too comfortable yet here. Yeah, we had bullish CVDs, a bit of a volume move up. So what I would like to see now is, if we do retest this area, first of all, hold it. Second, continue a grind, lower time frame, higher highs, higher lows, higher lows, bull, CVD. Okay, yeah, then I might start to get interested. But I don't know. I'm not feeling. I'm just not feeling the move just yet. I don't even know how to find your channel, to be fair. Pure chance. I don't know. Probably the browse feature on like the homepage of YouTube. I mean, 58%, I believe, of the people that find the channel come through the browse features, which is homepage, the list on the right side. When you watch videos on the right side, you have a list, and after you watch a video, you got like 18 videos or something, or 12 videos popping up. But hey, one of these probably. Sam. 1 hour 10 minutes. I gotta watch now. Yourself as well as Flotty live in Austria, so it will be interesting to have a look. But should be a good game. I mean, Austria is doing good so far as well, so it shouldn't be easy. Who knows? Austria might as well win. That an impulse unlikely. Yeah, if you basically retrace this whole move back down, that's probability is higher. You're gonna continue lower into the fibs shown earlier. And again, the longer you range here, the more bearish it is. I've explained my feelings. Yeah. That is true, Martin. From where would we count the 618 to know the invalidation if the price moves down? From where? Well, if you're thinking about a wave 3 now, then you take a fib from the low of the first two, preferably, to the high here. It's the safer option. So then you look for 1, 2, and then you want to see a wave 3. Of course, if you count a double 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3 up, then you can also take one from this low to the high here. But I like to be a bit more safe. But I'm not feeling it just yet here. Highest volume in this move up, arguably the potential for an ABC. So there is the potential here for a WXY double zigzag ABC. Find support, move down, and then move up. We don't really have too much going on here as support, though, if you do come down. No, we do have. I am gonna put it on my chart at least. There we go. This one is quite deep though. Okay, so 382, and then we have the 786. Yeah, that's pretty much it though. I know. Yeah, I know because I've traveled South Africa, beautiful country. But yeah, I know. I went into one of the crazy buses when I went surfing in the south of Africa. I would now actually need to. Okay, stop. Oh yeah, sorry, I got it. I got my maps on. How do you call it? Like what's this? Whatever. Satellite. So I went from Durban, and then I moved down towards Port Elizabeth, and then I surfed. God, where did I go? Close to Tsitsikamma, because this is where I did the Otter Trail, and I went surfing quite close to, I think, Oyster Bay, somewhere here. Yes, this looks like the spot. 1 second, because that means there. Yes. So I went on. Yes, I remember. So I took the crazy bus from Humansdorp to Oyster Bay. This is where I surfed for the first time in my life here. And then after this, I did the Otter Trail in Tsitsikamma National Park. And after the Otter Trail, I continued. Then I did shark cage diving in Mossel Bay. And then I went to Cape Town. Most likely scenario. Yeah, I look. Like locally. This is the thing. People always, and it's not of course like somewhere in particular, but people always expect with Elliott waves that there's a very clear probability for up or down. Now this is a typical, like on the weekly bullish, daily bullish, 4 hour we're looking for a bounce, right? Even if you take the low once again, we're looking for a bounce towards the upside to come eventually. It's just that on the 15, this move up is shit, right? So I also in content, people love to hear very clear probabilities, or it's bullish or it's bearish, and they don't really accept neutral. But on the 15, I'm not bullish just yet. I can't. It's just this move up is very ugly. I'm happy to count this as a 1. But then if this is your 2 for a wave 3 up continuation, then your wave 2 didn't even hit the 0.382, which would be like a minimum retracement. Anything higher is very rare for a wave 2. So in that case, if we do take the low ABC, which is definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on, if we at least fall back in this range, the probabilities are high to move to the other side of this range, yes. So if we fall back below this, I look down. And then the 382 is an interesting area, and the 786 is an area of interest before then taking the low. But if we are looking for a flat here, ABC, right, meaning you don't want to hit the 618, by the way. So if we look for a flat A, B, C, it's bullish, because then you're looking for at least a three-wave structure, and then either down or you continue up. That's something for later. Now locally, a flat will have significantly reduced probabilities if we hit the 618, the 1.618 sitting at 62.2k. So in other words, if you hit this 618 here, the probabilities for a flat go down as well. So if you move up just a little bit more, it significantly reduces the probabilities for an ABC flat, increasing probabilities that whatever you're doing here is an impulsive structure to the upside. Now, I don't like to count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because wave 4 hit the 618, invalidating wave 4. So then preferably we're looking for 1, 2, 1, 2, and we continue towards the upside. So we're looking for a wave 3. So if price can move up a little bit higher, the probabilities for an impulse where we're looking for a wave 3 increase. And so that is, so currently we're just waiting for price to hit certain levels to change probabilities. If you move back below this range, we're looking down. Right? You want this to hold now. It took so long. So if this is an impulse, of course you don't want to move back below this candle, really. That wouldn't be great. Of course, changing market structure, that's your invalidation. Because if you're looking for another 1, 2, right, another 1, 2, 3, your invalidation is the low. So of course, if you take the low of this range, you're going to be looking for price to move towards the point of control or the value area low of this move to the upside. But there is still the potential here for a flat ABC. Arguably, there is still the potential as well for three-wave structures and a wave 4, as long as you don't hit the 618. And then wave 5 down. So yes, if you do go down, there is absolutely the possibility for price to take out the low, but then you have to count this WXY and the move towards the downside. Now, even for a wave X, this retracement is so shallow, and for a wave Y, your minimum target would be the 618 at 62.5k, which invalidates a wave 4. So it's not great that this is a three-wave structure. So the probabilities would then arguably be higher if you do move down, that you're looking for a flat and then move up once more, or W, flatten X, and then wave Y is going to be a flat by itself, or a triangle continuing the range sideways, then move down, take the low one more, and then continue up. So by all means, we are starting to look for price to bounce, right? It's just about timing, really. And it's about looking what we're like, waiting for the good opportunity. Locally here, if price can now start grinding to the upside, up, bullish CVDs coming in and stuff as well. I mean, I'm happy to maybe join, but we're just below the golden pocket here as well. I don't know. So this is not, for me, this is like a no trade area. It's just no great probabilities either side. I need to wait for more information, and sometimes it's the way it is. If you zoom out on a daily or weekly time frame, the probabilities are incredibly clear. Easy trading, easy swing trading. On a 15-minute, I'm very happy to be on the absolute sidelines here. So if we so of course there's nothing against the question, but if we drop, there is the potential to take the low, but it's not great probabilities, because if this is a three-wave WXY to then take the low after, you actually want to go above the golden pocket, which would invalidate a wave 4 for another 5 down. So probabilities are now higher. You're looking for an impulsive structure, or at least continuation or of the range, or move up. Of course, the only way to continue this range would now be WXY and then continue with wave Y not taking the high of W, or at least the high of X. So probabilities increased for an impulse because of the move up, even if you do 1, 2, and then 3. Your bearish scenario is then W, X, Y, continue the range, and then move down once more, and then move up after. If price moves up a little bit further and takes out 62.2k, right? Preferably 62213. That significantly reduces probabilities. We're looking at a flat here. So that increases probabilities. We're looking at impulsive structures, where this move to the upside is then either going to be counted at wave 5, another 1, 2, or we just continue up in 3. It's fine. But we haven't hit it yet. So we got to know the levels, which we do, and now it's just waiting. Yeah, mine didn't just yet though. Pick your battles clever. Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like, you got to pick your battles, and if you made profit the other day, you don't have to trade every day. You just got to wait for a good setup. So, yeah. I really don't care about missing moves. I care about high probabilities and setups. Did endure 1-2 on the weekly, hit a 2-3-6. That was the 3-8-2. Would you say it is still valid to take all-time high before? Yes. Of course, with a WXY, your wave Y can take the low 56K. Right? So, but it's easy in validation. But if we do look at the target for your C, 56.6, which is pretty much the low of 56K. So you like the fact with the recent move down here, right? The probabilities of taking all-time high first have decreased, but we are still looking for a bounce towards the upside, and that is what matters in the end. So the weekly and daily time frame, those are easy. We're looking for bounces locally here. Yes, Joe, correct. Cheers, Yatin Singla. Thank you. I don't want to watch your experience with range charts. Range charts. Oh, zero. Like this. No, I've never used a range chart yet. I don't have any experience with range charts. I actually don't even know what it is, really. A tuk-tuk. Yo, in Indonesia, man. In Indonesia, I rented a scooter. Wait, I gotta find that city now as well. So in Indonesia, Bandung. So I was in Bandung. It's a great train ride, by the way. Can recommend. And holy moly! So you just got to go with the flow, right? you get the scooter. You just go with the traffic because the traffic is insane. So you just got to roll with it. 1 second, my wife is calling me. Okay. Yeah, I'm already live for a long time, and she's getting in an airplane now and stuff, and we have to still talk about the contract of a new apartment in France. So it is time for me to move on, though. Port Elizabeth. Yeah, and Port Elizabeth, of course, changed their name. What about CVDs? CVDs have played out, so these are now like, it's like just wait for new CVDs to form. Not much going on. Price moving down, CVD moving down. Possibly FUCRA. Cheers, AB XYZ. Couldn't if I fall below a wave, expect lower if I hold more up. I don't know what you mean, Crypto, so I would like to hear your input later about. Yeah, it's not something I'll probably use, but I can at least check it out. Always do. Bro, do you know about Cambodia? I do. Never been there, but I know the country. I've heard about the country. Okay, guys, I gotta go. By the way, Mudavada, good to have you here again. Okay, we've been live for a long time. 3 hours. Yo, we're ending the stream exactly on the 3 hour mark. Pretty neat, no? Yeah, I know, right, Mada? So yeah, of course, we covered the price section. We covered like what we're looking for and the structure to the upside. Please trade safe here. I kind of give you my feelings and my thoughts about this move to the upside. Of course, that is my plan, my strategy. It's just my way of trading, but please trade safe. You know, only trade when price fits your plan, your narrative. You have a good idea. It's not worth taking trades when you don't have great clarity. You know, it's no problem to not trade and wait for the ideal setup and then make bank again. So, but hey, if there is a setup, then trade the setup, trade the plan, no? That being said though, yeah, tonight will be another Bitcoin update somewhere tonight. And we'll see where price is. No, well, I mean, yeah, it's currently trying to move back inside the range. Oh, it's quite nice. So yeah, we'll see. So yeah, thanks everyone for being here. And tomorrow, of course, is a new live stream. So tonight, update, normal video. Tomorrow morning will be a video, and tomorrow early afternoon will be a live stream. Earlier than usual tomorrow, because in the evening I'm gonna go go-karting with my dad and my brothers, a 2-hour race. You know, we're gonna do Le Mans minus 22 hours. So usually I go live in the afternoon around 3 p.m. But tomorrow will be earlier. So welcome to the channel, Giotti. Good to have you here. You'll get used to the timings very quickly. So yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for being here. Trade safe, and I'm gonna catch you at the next one.